My name is Katie Clayton-Turner, the Registered Manager of the Sussex Village Home Care Service Limited.
I'm Sophie and I work for the Sussex Village Home Care Service as a senior carer, and I also do the admin work in the office with the rotoring, payroll systems and HR.
When we started the business, the rota was really written down on paper. We would just have bits of paper everywhere and a diary, just like a normal sort of A4 diary with the visits written in there and who was going. And then we realised that obviously as the business was expanding, this was not the best way to be doing that.
So in terms of rotoring, I think it's every manager's worst nightmare, full stop. I think no matter how good a system you have in place, at 7 o'clock in the morning when somebody calls in sick, it's still got to be changed. But prior to CareLineLive, we were on paper spreadsheets that we were printing maybe 10, 15 times a day, if the printer worked. If not, we were doing them by hand. We were having to write down people's schedules for the day and hand them out, either trying to send it via a photo or them coming into the office to collect. But now we've got CareLineLive in place, we can change that from home at 7 o'clock in the morning when someone calls in sick within 5 minutes. We're not having to reroute carers back to an office to come and collect a different care plan or a different set of notes from the day before. And everybody can see where everybody else should be. So in terms of safety for our staff, we also know where they should be and when. We can see it all live in front of us. So if we have to make a rota change for a staff member, that will appear instantly on their phone. When they go into their app, it will alert them that the rota has been changed. It will come up with added or changed on next to the visit, so they can see really clearly that something has changed, or if it's cancelled, it has a nice big red cross next to it, so they can very clearly see that they're not expected to turn up to that visit.
CareLineLive has made a difference with the general running of the business. It's a lot smoother, so we can rota easily. We can see who's going where, how many hours worth of work a carer is doing a week. So some carers have to do 40 hours, some are bank staff, they can do less, so we can easily see how many hours they're up to. All the medications are on there, which is fantastic. So the tasks on the app that we use daily are just brilliant. And unless you've gone in and completed that task, you can't check out. So it's even better, so nothing gets missed.
So CareLineLive saved us time in many areas of our kind of day-to-day work. The rotoring, invoicing, payroll, they're some of the big back office sort of tasks that can take hours, which are now much quicker. But in the day-to-day kind of running of the organisation on the front line, you're able to upload a care plan for a client and it's seen instantly by the staff. You're not having to retype it into a template. You're not having to send it out via email to all of your staff. It's there in front of them. And in terms of thorough handovers for those staff, the tasks that need to be completed on a day-to-day basis are in the app for those carers to see. And that provides consistency for our clients. That allows them to not have to repeat themselves day in, day out to different carers. As a result of using CareLineLive, we've been able to provide far more person-centred care for our clients. And we've been able to go out as senior managers, as senior care staff, and spend more time with our clients and seeing in real life what their needs are and spend more time assessing them and reviewing them than before we had technology. We're not having to spend 2 hours a day doing the rota for the next day, and that time can then actually be spent supporting clients. When we first started working with CareLineLive, I had a very minimal handover from Katie. She used it, but was in the very early days of having that system set up. I think they had maybe 1 or 2 of the induction sessions. So we were really in the kind of getting to grips stages with it. And it's very, very easy to either on the app or on the website, go to the support box, type in what you're looking for, and there's very clear instructions there. So you can go through the user guides, and if you can't, then you pick up the phone and somebody answers and we'll talk you through it. And as everybody does, some of the most simple things you find difficult when you're learning something new, and within minutes you're able to get the answer that you're looking for rather than sitting there getting very frustrated. CareLineLive has helped us to provide person-centred care in many ways. One of the big things for us is that we can put our clients' preferences at the centre of what we're doing. For example, how they like their tea. If you've got 5 different carers going in to see them throughout the week, it can be very frustrating for a client or their family members to have to explain 5 times how they like their breakfast in the morning, their tea, or how they like their eggs done at lunchtime. That can be put in the app, Joe likes her tea strong with 2 sugars. It's there in front of them, they're not having to ask. So those really small things that are important for our clients are there for the carers to see before they've even arrived at the house.
I would say that it is worth every penny spent, to be honest. You can't possibly keep track of everybody's medications, everybody's notes, everybody's carer concerns, the rostering, the mileage, where your carers are, checking in, checking out. I add to the notes all day long, and I go in and I read what the carers are doing at their previous calls. I know roughly whereabouts the carers are, if they're running late, if there's any concerns, they get flagged up. You can put pictures on there. So, I mean, yeah, we wouldn't be without it now. Definitely not. Definitely not. Well, it saved me time because I don't have to run around looking for my scraps of paper. It saves time because it's far easier to type into your phone the notes rather than handwriting them in a book. The client's family can log into the app, onto the Care Circle, so they know exactly what's going on at each visit. So I don't have to communicate 3 times the same thing. The carers know to read the notes of the previous visit, so they're quite up to date. Everybody's up to date with what's going on as it happens. The families of the service users find the care portal very, very useful. They know exactly what's going on in the visit. If there's any concerns, they get flagged. They can read through if they think something's not been done or it's not quite, I don't know, if someone's left 5 minutes early or if they've been 15 minutes longer, then that helps us because we can see actually that 30-minute visit now needs to be 45 minutes. Or if you're stuck having a chat and a cup of coffee and you can't stop the client talking, which happens quite a lot because some people are lonely, then we can just extend the call visit. One of the things I like about CareLineLive is the ability to go into my notes and have concerns flagged up to me. We do a lot of palliative care for the NHS, so the conditions of the clients change every day, all day. They change within the hour, so we have to literally be looking at those notes all the time. And it really helps because I can see, say somebody may have a sore patch or their breathing may have changed, and that's all really, really important so that we can liaise with the other district nurses, the hospices, so we can just keep everybody informed. We do ask the carers to look at the notes of the previous carer that's been there. So the carer goes in and always updates their notes before the next visit. Unless there's something really hectic that's going on and they can't do that, then they will always update as they go. We also there's a little section on there that's handover notes, which is really good. So, for example, one client may have a whole big pile of washing that they want folded up and put away. So we'll say, we haven't got time to do that this morning, but that's fine. We'll put it on the lunchtime call, and then we just add it as a handover note so the carer knows to do that. It's quite easy to see where we can fit in clients and where we can't, where we have gaps in the rota, where we can't, where we have respite. And I think also the reports, they do help with that. So you can sort of run your report and see, okay, we're full, we can't take any more. They tell you how many hours of care you've done that week. And then you can obviously work that out quite easily between how many staff you've got and whether or not you can take on any more hours.
When we get offered care packages, either privately, NHS funded or local authority, CareLineLive is able to offer us a very live preview of the day or the next few days of how the rota looks in order to manage our capacity. We know our maximum capacity of hours, and we can run reports in the report section of CareLineLive to show how many hours we're currently providing, how many hours we're due to provide next week, so we can then get a real up-to-date bit of information on what our capacity is per hour. Our carers have actually found CareLineLive really easy to use. I think one of their favourite functions is probably the map button. We work in rural villages, they're not easy properties to find, and to be able to just click on directions from where they are to where they're going next has been really helpful. All the access information for the property is on the front page. So all of that information that they need is there, and it's really simple. You're not having to flick through different pages or different parts of the app. It is literally on the rota, click on the client, and it's all there. The Sussex Village Home Care Service are just about to go live with GP Connect. We're really hoping that this will make handovers of patients much easier. So quite often we take on an NHS client who's been looked after by the community nurses, and GP Connect will allow us to see live what medications that they've been on, any notes that have been left, and any changes that are coming up or referrals for them.